Happy New Year, everyone. I am so glad you are here with me. Thank you for being here with me. We have made it a long way. We've been together through, some crazy politics and the pandemic, and here we are. So, I want to talk about this full moon. It's the Cancer full moon, and it's obviously in January. It's coming up fairly soon. And I want to talk about the retrogrades. Still doing my New Year's special, which is an hour-long reading for $99. And because I've been able to keep up with the work and not get overwhelmed, I'm still open to continuing that for those of you who still want a reading. And if you want to stock up for 2023, that's totally fine with me. And if you want to buy a gift for someone, that's also fine with me. So go on over there to the link. It's in the description box below. But I also have something special I want to share with you. So let me turn to that for a moment. Okay, so I'm going to be doing what's called an Atomic Habits workshop for 2023. I want to help you start this year off right by building better habits using the methods developed by James Clear in his book, Atomic Habits. This is a new year, and we always find ourselves assessing the previous year, appraising our successes, but also considering the goals and dreams that did not manifest. Are those goals and dreams still important to you? Do you have some new ones for 2023? Are you continuing to strive toward a lifelong dream that you've held for many years? In this new year, we're going to be thinking about our resolutions, obviously, but we all know how quickly those resolutions fade. And then we're right back to being the person we were in 2022, creating the same life. It's like they say, do the same thing, you get the same results. And why does this happen? Well, the answer is because we don't have the right habits. You can accomplish just about anything if you have the right habits. James Clear teaches in his book that success is about our daily processes, our habits, less than it is about the goals we set for ourselves. Your life will actually be the product of your habits rather than the product of your goals. And if you think about that, you'll see that that's actually true. The purpose of goals is simply to tell us which habits to create, okay? Like which direction to move in. It doesn't automatically get us there. It's the habits that get us there. And in his book, Atomic Habits, I came to realize that reading the book is not enough. And taking action is not as easy as it sounds. I think the reason for that is about accountability and the support of a community. That's why I'm putting together a workshop for the new year in which we will work through the book step by step, implementing the strategies for better habit building and tracking our success. It's only going to be $99 for a month-long workshop. That's less than $25 per week, which is less than having a latte at Starbucks every day. Are you willing to invest that much to achieve your goals this year? I certainly hope so. I'm still running my New Year's special, as I said, but because I really want this workshop to be a success, I'm offering the workshop at a 50% discount for anyone who orders a reading this week. Let's start this year off right and move closer to making our dreams come true in 2023. Check out the link below in the description box for the New Year's special on readings and for the Atomic Habits workshop. Hope to see you there. Okay, so this is the January full moon. It happens on January 6th. So, we've got like a week here. Then we've got the full moon. It's at 4:09 p.m. Mountain Time, so you can adjust for your time zone. And just to give you the basics here, the full moon is in Cancer at 16 degrees 22 minutes, and the sun is opposite in Capricorn at 16 degrees 22 minutes. And the sun is conjunct that Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, which is interesting because, obviously, full moons are all about completion. Okay, so you are completing something. Obviously, we're completing 2022, but it's more internal because the moon in Cancer is very much about our emotions. So what you want to be thinking about is, this completion energy Again, that might be something like specifically that you completed, not just the year, but something you were working toward. But I think it really is more internal. It's like something that a decision you've made, like this is the completion, this is the fullness of this full moon. This is the fruition. It's a decision you have made to say, I'm done with X, I'm starting Y. Okay. That's what the completion or ending energy is. The fruition energy of this full moon is that decision. You've made a really, really important decision. And I like the timing too, that we're shifting out of 1 year, starting a new year. You're starting a whole new you with this really important decision that you've made. It's like something's going to end. It may have already happened, but I think it's more about something internal, like I'm not going to do that behavior anymore, or I'm done with that. I'm committing to this. And that's going to make a big difference in your life in 2023. Now, in this full moon chart, we also have Mars stationing to go direct. It will actually go direct on the 12th. So that's just a week after the full moon. Okay, so that energy of Mars stationing to turn direct is embedded in this chart. It is completing its process that has been taking us through some really deep change in a specific area of our lives. Mars entered Gemini, I believe, in August, and it hit its shadow at 8 degrees of Gemini, and then it went all the way up to this point. So that's like 5 months. And it will then station direct and continue moving forward in Gemini at least through March. So by the time it's done, it will have been in this sign for somewhere between 7 and 8 months. It's been a huge, huge change in our lives. So think about what you've been changing. Did you go back to something that you were doing before, working on before? Maybe some kind of project you were working on before, or some kind of behavior that you used to have before that worked for you really well. And you said to yourself, you know what, this is something I need to change. I need to go back to this project, or I need to go back to this behavior, or back to this relationship, or back to this kind of work I used to do. There was something from the past that was working for you in the past, but you stopped doing it. You stopped that project. You stopped interacting with those people. You stopped doing that kind of work or that kind of behavior. And Mars retrograde in Gemini took you back to that and made you rethink why it was working in your life before and why you want to go back to it now and reincorporate it into your life. So once it stations direct on January 12th and it's moving forward, it's right now it's really already in that stationing direct energy, which is super potent. But once it starts moving direct through the first 3 months of this year, then it's like you're in that integration phase. You are really integrating whatever you learned during that Mars retrograde. And it is really going to be profoundly life-changing and for the better. Okay, so I hope that you know what that was about. Think about something you went back to in this latter half of 2022 and how you reincorporated, like brought it back into your life. Again, that may have been a relationship that you had lost. Maybe there was a wounding and you were able to bring some healing to that and bring that relationship back into your life in a way that felt good. Maybe it was a project or an activity or, just some kind of behavior that you used to be involved in, or a community or work or something that you brought back into your life. And you're now going to be integrating that back into your life as a part of your everyday existence in 2023. Now, we've still got Mercury retrograde at 17 degrees 43 minutes of Capricorn at the time of this full moon, conjunct the sun in Capricorn. So we have that Mercury retrograde energy until January 18th. So it's like there's just a tiny bit more, like one more week of stuff you need to think about after Mars stations direct until Mercury stations direct, because Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. where Mars has been traveling for so long. It's like there's one last piece you need to think about or write about or talk about in that last week of Mercury retrograde. And it's in a slightly different area of your chart, but depending on where your ascendant is, they may actually be in the same area of your chart. In other words, where is Capricorn from your ascendant? Like for Cancer, that's the 7th house of others. But where is Mars from your sun, or vice versa? Because you may find, like in this chart, Mercury is in the 7th house and Mars is in the 12th house, which rules your subconscious. And it also rules what's called self-undoing, but that doesn't mean that you have to undo yourself. Because when you go into your subconscious and you look deeply at those behaviors, that's when you can change, okay? So maybe if you look at your ascendant and your sun, they are actually in the same house. Like maybe they're both actually in the 7th house when you look at your solar chart. Or maybe they're both actually in the 12th house when you look at your solar chart. Sometimes that happens, and that can be really super interesting. So you may want to take a look at that. But regardless, if they are actually in different areas of your chart, which they will be, depending on whether you're looking at your ascendant or solar chart. A solar chart is when you put the sun in the 1st house. There's something about it, like changing behavior in terms of relationships. That might be what happened. It could still be about work or projects or stuff, but there was something about relationships that were changed. And even more importantly, because that Gemini Mercury energy is so strong, maybe it was about the way you communicate with people or the way you think about things, because communication and thinking have a lot to do with how we create our reality. And you've thought a lot about something in the past in these specific areas of your life, and you have been changing in important ways. And I think the more consciousness you can bring to that, the more you will really get the juice out of these 2 retrograde planets, Mars and Mercury, because they were trying to help you with something, trying to change your life so you can make your life better. So once Mercury goes direct on January 18th, then we've got one more energy that we need to shift before we begin moving forward, really truly moving forward and outward. And that'll be the new moon on January 21st, because with the full moon, we're in the waning phase where we're just in a completion phase. So we finish up the Mars retrograde, we finish up the Mercury retrograde, we finish up the waning moon, and then we hit the new moon on January 21st, and then it'll start to open up again and move outward into the world and move forward with our goals and dreams and projects. And then the final energy that will shift will be Uranus. Uranus will be the final planet to station direct, and then all of the planets will be direct. Okay, so from that point, we will really be moving forward and outward. In fact, our lives may become so busy, we'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. So I want you to be aware of that, because this is like gearing up. Okay, from the moment you're watching this video all the way through to when Uranus goes direct will be a gearing up energy, and it'll just be one thing after another. Mars direct, Mercury direct, new moon, Uranus direct, and then it's like full steam ahead. Okay, so this is a period of completing something, making a decision, finishing up the year. That decision thing, though, is the most important. You've got to know what was it that you decided to change and put behind you now that 2022 is over and we're beginning a new year. Because knowing what that decision was, knowing what it was that you finished up, completed, ended, more than just the year, I think will be really helpful to you in terms of creating a new and better year in 2023. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this to an end, but as I said, I'm still running my specials on the New Year's reading. I'm adding the Atomic Habits workshop, And the way that will be structured, there'll be activities and information that you can look at during the week, and then we'll have a face-to-face Zoom meeting in a group for all the participants. And then, and that'll last a month. And then also I'm doing my Patreon Zoom this coming Friday, which is the first Friday of this year. Okay, so that will be on January 6th. So, and that's in the evenings, Friday evenings. So if you're interested, I hope you'll join us. And if you're not yet a patron, come on over and check it out. It's only $5 a month, and you get to come to the Zoom meetings, which are usually 2 times a month for a couple of hours. So, and if you don't have time for the full amount, that's fine. Sometimes people jump in late, or sometimes people have to leave early, and that's fine. It's there for you as a patron. All right, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful, and I look forward to seeing those of you who want readings and who want to join this new exciting workshop. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.